Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Georgia. I hope you're well. Welcome to our June TBR. Now, I feel like this one is going to be a struggle. I am in quite possibly the biggest reading slump of my life. I have never been in this bad of a reading slump before. Like, May was super busy. We are in like the second to last week at the moment. I'm having to pre-film this just 'cause I'm going on holiday. We're on like the 21st of May and I've read 3 books this month. So we were super busy anyway, and then I binge watched the Off-Campus series, which I haven't binge watched a TV show in like years, and it's completely taken over my life, as it has for like a good chunk of the BookTok community. And then I smashed out the entirety of The Goal last night. So before last night I'd only read 2 books. I literally read it start to finish in one sitting, didn't move off the sofa, smashed the lot out, and now I just don't know what to do with myself. I have just been like looking around my bookshelves, just getting a bit of inspo, looking at like the videos that I've got coming up, any arcs I've got to read, and I want to read none of it. So this one is going to be a struggle. I do have some arcs and some commitments that I like, books I need to read this month, but I am in the biggest of book slumps ever, and I just like want to sit and rewatch Off-Campus again and again and again, and like reading Tucker's book last night. I thought it had dialed down the obsession a little bit now that I've read the last book and it's all well and good, and I'm like, no, more. So here's where we're at. This is where we're at. Okay, fun. Anyway, let's pick our TBR for the month. As always, I'm going to pick 6 books. I honestly think this is going to be a shit show start to finish because I just don't want to read at the minute, but I'm really hoping going on holiday and picking up a book on holiday will sort of like get me back in the swing of things and get me back on it, because I always love to read on holiday. So I'm hoping that fixes this, but let's give it a go. It's like I've read 2 books off my physical TBR last month, so you know, we shall see. We're going to use the trusty TBR jar. We are getting low on prompts now, so I don't really know what I'm going to do after this. Do we just put the ball back in and start fresh? Like, what do we do? Do we do something else? Who knows? That's the future Georgia problem. Let's go in for book number 1 for June. I will start by saying I am in a massive romance phase at the moment anyway. I've tried to read a couple of romantic books and just not been feeling it. So I'm probably going to pick a relatively heavy romance TBR. I'm having one of those days today where my brain feels so chaotic. You may have also noticed I've actually condensed this down to just 2 shelves now. So we've got this on the top, so I want to get some like pretty little bits to go up here. But we are actually down to just 2 shelves on our goal cart now, which I'm very happy about. But it does mean that these hardbacks are really difficult to get out. Anyway, let's go in for our first prompt. There's every chance I'm going to completely ignore this card today, just a heads up. Oh, I like this one. A book with the same first letter as the month. So, J. I feel like this is going to be a bit of a challenge actually. Oh god. Do I have any books beginning with J? I've just had a brief scan of everything, and I don't actually think I have one that begins with J. So do we go for an author whose name begins with J? It just says a book with the same first letter. Could we go for an author? I feel like that's better than putting the prompt back in, isn't it? That's not cheating then. So I'm going to go for an author name that begins with J. We could go Abby Jimenez. Jimenez begins with J. I've got Jessica Peterson books. We could maybe do that. So I think these are pretty much my options. So we've got The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez, which is book 1 in the Friend Zone series. And then I've also got Cash by Jessica Peterson. I know neither of the titles do start with J, but the author names start with J. I don't know if I want to jump into this yet because I do have a couple of like country ones on the go. So I think maybe we'll go for this one. So just to quickly read you the back of this then. He's the best man and that's the problem. Kristen Peterson is perfectly fine. She has friends she'd fight to the death for and the very best dog in the world, Stuntman Mike. Everything's calm and peaceful in the world of Kristen until she starts to plan her best friend's wedding and meets the best man, Josh Copeland. Josh is funny, sexy, stands up to her sarcasm and is always one snack ahead of her hangry. Even Stuntman Mike adores him. But he wants a big family and Kristen knows children probably aren't the part of her future. She's sure he'd be better off with somebody else, someone who can give him everything he wants. So Kristen keeps him at arm's length, in the friend zone. But as their attraction grows, it's harder and harder to resist falling for the man who seems to be everything she's not allowed to have. That sounds so interesting. I've never actually read the back of this book. I have 8 of her books and I've read 5 of them, and I've had a really good streak with her so far. I've rated all 5 of the books that I've read above a 4-star. I'm really excited to see what I think of these. I've heard that these series aren't as good as the rest of her books, but I really like her writing style, so I'm hoping to still enjoy them. Prompt number 2, let's go. We have a green one. The 15th book on a random shelf. Do we go for the 15th book on here, or do we go for the 15th book on a shelf? I feel like this would be the smart move. Should we do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Are you kidding me? Yes. Yes, it's happening. I am so in the mood for like country and sport romance at the moment that like this just brings me so much joy. This actually made my day. The 50th book on a random shelf, if we were sticking to the TBR cart like I should be, this was book 15. You saw it came from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That worked out literally perfectly. That is so good. I am so excited about this one. So this is book 2 in the Rose Hill series by Elsie Silver. I read book 1 last month in May. So we're going to jump straight into book 2 in June. So it says on the back, a rugged mountain town seemed like the perfect escape from her life in shambles, until she ran into the world's hottest single dad. As a chart-topping country singer with a recent streak of bad press, it's hard for Skylar Stone to find any peace. But she finds it in Rose Hill, with a little boy and a little girl who steal her heart just as thoroughly as their dad, Weston Belmont. We've got West's story. The man is a shameless flirt. He oozes confidence and masculinity in a way that's downright distracting. And in bed, he's addictive. Everything with him is wild and impulsive, and Skylar is desperate to regain some control. But no one supports her like West does, and no one has ever made her feel as loved as he does either. So while Skylar's brain says settling down with a small town horse trainer is impossible, her heart says it's right where she belongs. She can see in his eyes that he wants her to stay, and she wants that too. But Skylar knows better than anyone that you don't always get what you want. Oh, I am so unbelievably excited about this. We see a lot of West in book 1, and I really like his sort of like story so far, so I'm really looking forward to seeing a bit more of him here. He is a single dad with 2 kids, and I love a single dad romance anyway, but I think this is going to be a really fun little setup. So book 2 for the month of June, we have Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. I can already feel myself sort of getting excited to read these books, and I'm slightly scared that I'm just going to jump straight into these rather than finishing off my sort of like May TBR for the rest of this month, but it's fine, it's fine. So book 2 for the month of June, we have Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. Okay, we're off to a good start. It's getting me excited about reading again. Let's go for prompt number 3. Another blue. So we have free choice, so any book that I would like to read. I'm going to treat myself to one of my arcs, I think. I've got quite a lot of arcs that are coming out sort of end of June, beginning of July that I'd really like to get to soon, just so that I can make sure I've got everything I need to get done for these books. So I've got The Someday Garden by Ashley Poston, that comes out on the 16th of June. I've got Daggermouth by H.M. Wolf, that comes out on the 25th of June. I know it's already out on like Kindle Unlimited and stuff, but I received the arc for it a while ago. I've just not got around to reading it yet. The High Life by Anise Starr, that comes out on the 2nd of July. Also on the 2nd of July, we've got One Last Rodeo by Emma Lucy. And I've also got a copy of Unexpected Goal by Clara St. James coming as well. I think I'm going to go for One Last Rodeo. I think that's going to be my choice. So One Last Rodeo is by Emma Lucy. It's book 3 in the Willow Ridge series by this author. So I rated book 1 4 star and I rated book 2 5 stars, like 6 stars. I was obsessed. I loved it so much. It was such a fun read. It was like brother's best friend bucket list sort of read, and I always find those so much fun. Book 3 is One Last Rodeo. And just to give you a little bit of information about it, so it's going to be the final book in the series as well, and we're following the main male characters from those books' best friend Sawyer. So Sawyer Nash was born to fight against the demons of his past and then against the bulls that made him a champion. But when an injury rips away the only life he's ever known, he finds himself lost, drowning in a future without purpose. Then Honey Goldman comes back to town. A decade ago she shattered his heart and left him swearing off love. Now she's returned to Willow Ridge with a son. As Sawyer begrudgingly steps in to help the boy, old wounds reopen and long-buried feelings rise to the surface. As Sawyer and Honey grapple with the past, could love, the very thing Sawyer has spent years avoiding, be the thing that saves him after all? I am so excited. Sawyer is so funny. He's like that really cocky, arrogant bull rider, and his character is so much fun. And we've not actually met Honey yet, but we've got a single mom situation. Again, I love a sort of like single dad, single mom, single parent trope anyway, so I think this one is going to be so much fun. I am so excited to jump into this one. So our third book for June, I'm going to pop One Last Rodeo by Emma Lucy on the TBR. I am loving this TBR so far. This is going to be so good. Okay, book number 4. a green one. We're getting lots of blues and greens. Ooh, a book with food or drink on the cover. I feel like this is one of the first prompts to ever go in my jar. Let's have a look, I guess. There's nothing on my cart, so I'm gonna have to go and have a nosy at my shelves. I'll be right back. I've had a look and I found a book that I've been wanting to read for ages, and we've finally got a prompt to make this work. So a book with food or drink on the cover. We've got Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young. So this is book 1 in the sort of like Next series. I don't know if that's its official name, but that's what I've been calling it anyway. This one I love the sound of. I picked these books up ages ago and really wanted to read them, and then they just sort of got lost to my TBR. We're going to jump in with this one. So Hannah Bonham Young sort of went quite popular for her like Out on a Limb book, and I absolutely loved that. So we've got a woman with a disability with a hand, and then our main male characters had one of his legs like amputated, and it's them sort of navigating this like first time parent situation. I'm pretty sure in this we have sort of like another single parent but like caregiver situation. So we've got a lot of like the parenting tropes going on. The first book was people who don't want kids. The second one is a single dad. Third one is a single mom. And now we've got this. So there's clearly a theme this month. What's going on? Next of Kin then, I'll quickly read you the back. When people-pleasing Chloe learns that her birth mother has unexpectedly had another baby, she doesn't hesitate to become a kinship carer. But failing to meet the social services financial evaluation, she's faced with a choice. See her baby sister placed in foster care or participate in a new initiative where 2 prospective guardians join households to qualify. Enter Warren, a Shirley mechanic apprentice attempting to get custody of his deaf 15-year-old brother. From the moment Warren drives up 30 minutes late, blasting music out of his car, Chloe is convinced that this is a very bad idea, but then eventually agree to live together for the sake of their younger siblings. In fact, they're far more similar than she could have imagined. What started as forced beginnings begins to feel natural and far less lonely. Chemistry soon intensifies beyond what either of them can stand. But is their mutual attraction worth risking everything they fought for? I love the sound of this. This one sounds like such an interesting sort of setup. So we've got 2 sort of caregivers, one for her baby sister, one for his younger deaf brother. And I just think this is going to be so lovely. I think there's going to be some very difficult topics, as there is in 90% of the books I've read by this author. But I am very much looking forward to giving this one a go. It sounds like so much fun, and I think it's going to be really nice to see them being like that support system for each other in a very similar situation. So this is the 4th book I'm going to put on my June TBR. This is such a fun month. I'm already so excited. Our 4th book for June, we have Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young. And also food and drink on the cover. They've both got coffees. There's a bottle of milk in the corner. Tick. Boom. I can't fucking see. Book number 5. Let's go. Another green. We've had 2 blues and 3 greens so far. The next prompt we pulled was use a colour generator and then pick a book the same colour. Let's get up a colour wheel and let's spin for our colour for this prompt. I have my colour wheel up. Let's spin. I feel like I've literally just did this, so I'm really excited to see what we get. Amber. I feel like the only book I have with that sort of colour scheme is this one here. I think we're going to go for this one. Remember earlier when I was saying that you can't get the hardbacks out? You literally have to like empty the shelf to get them out. So this is the Grimm and Oro novella in the Lightlark series. So we've got those sort of amber tones on here. I think this is probably the best I'm going to get. So on Oro's side, we've obviously got all those sort of like orangey amber tones. And then we've got Grimm's side that has no colour at all. So it does actually have a bit of amber on here still. So I'm going to go for this one, I think. It's absolutely gorgeous. I am obsessed. If you don't know what this is, it's the novella that you read after the 3rd book before the 4th book in the Lightlark series. So we have Grimm and Oro's POVs in this book. I'm not going to read you any sort of information about this one because it is like 3.5 in a series, so I'm not going to give you any more information than that really. If you've not read the Lightlark book, Lightlark, which is book number 1, is the sort of like trials and competitions based romantasy book. It's a YA series, but they do sort of get less YA as the series go on, in my opinion. I literally can't see out of this eye. It's getting me really stressed. I don't know if it's like a Freya hair or if I've got something on my eyeball, but it's bothering me. All the way through this series, we just have Isla, which is the main female character in this book. We have her POV, whereas in book 4, we get Isla, Grimm and Oro's POV all together in that book. So this is sort of that sort of switch between them. So I'm assuming that we're going to get sort of like their opinions of the like happenings so far. We have Oro's POV for the first half of the book, and then it's really clever actually. And then like you flip it and then you read Grimm's perspective. And you do it like that, which I just think is so clever and so much fun. So I think we'll put this on here for this month. So our 5th book, we are going to pop the Grimm and Oro Lightlark novella on here. I also think it's so clever. You get them like peeking through their little things. I just love it. It's so cool. So our colour generator picked amber. We now have the Grimm and Oro novella. We've got a little bit of fantasy on here. It's fine. I think this makes this acceptable and not just an entire romance TBR. So got myself out of that one. Let's go in for my 6th and final prompt for the month of June then. I'm getting a dead foot now, so I really need to like hurry this up. Oh, I feel like that one's in my hand. We'll go for this one. A new release. This works out perfectly. It means I can get another ARC book on my TBR. So let me just quickly go back to my list. Ooh, I'm going to go for the High Life, I think. Yeah, let's go for the High Life by Anise Starr. I hope I'm saying her name right. I read her Christmassy book, Just a Taste, back in December of last year, and I really liked that one. It was like really fun and easy to read. In that one, we were following like an in-house chef and they got like snowed in. It was a lot of fun. So let me quickly read you the synopsis for this one. Oh, I got it. I finally got the hair that's been irritating my eye for this entire video. So this is the High Life. It's a standalone book, again coming out on the 2nd of July. I feel like I've got so many new releases for the 2nd of July that I want to get like on top of. So this works out perfectly. And this one does sound like so much fun. So as an airline heiress, Armani Davis has spent her 28 years on Earth living the high life, literally. Jet setting across the globe on a whim, dining in the most exclusive restaurants and rubbing shoulders with the world's elite. Armani has it all, and she'll do pretty much anything to keep her tycoon father happy and maintain the status quo. Except when her father proposes a marriage between herself and Asher, Armani learns that she does in fact have a limit. Determined not to spend the rest of her life in a loveless marriage that only serves her father's business, Armani conjures up a desperate lie. Surely her father wouldn't force her to marry her bitter ex, would he? So it sounds as though we've got a bit of a like opposite fake dating, or like an opposite marriage of convenience, like they're trying to stop this marriage of convenience. And it sounds like such an interesting setup. I'm really excited to give this one a go. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've not really read much by this author before. Like I said, I've only read Just a Taste, so I think it's going to be really interesting to see this sort of like high life way of living and that sort of setup. This is going to be really fun. I can tell already. I'm going to put the High Life on as my 6th and final book for the month of June. This has got me feeling so pumped and so ready for reading. Like I said, May has been the slowest month ever. I've just not been in the mood to read at all. So I'm very, very happy to have this sort of boost that I needed and this sort of like way of getting me into reading and getting me ready for the month of June. I'm so excited. I'm really hoping this is going to get me set and ready and going, because it's been a very slow reading month and I've been feeling very sad about my lack of interest in reading, so this has definitely got me excited again. I cannot wait to get into these books. If you've read any of them, let me know what you thought of them in the comments down below. I always love to know your guys' opinions on books and sort of like if you think I'll like them and if you recommend them, so definitely let me know in the comments down below. We've got a very good reading month. So we've got The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez, we've got Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver, we've got One Last Rodeo by Emma Lucy, we've got Next of Kin by Hannah Bodum Young, we have Grimm and Oro by Alex Astor, and we also have The High Life by Anise Starr. What a lineup! What a lineup indeed. I am so excited to read these. This sounds like such a good month. I cannot wait. Let me know what you guys are reading in the month of June. I always want to know your guys like sort of summer recommendations, things like that. I think I'm gonna have the best reading month, I'm not gonna lie. This sounds like such a good month to me. There we have it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, my social media, my Amazon, my Goodreads and my business email are all in the description bar below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad you guys are here. I really hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.